Man, I am so excited to talk to you about this movie.
Thank you.
We had so much fun, and I say we because it was a great theater last night here in New York.
Oh,
and
you just saw it last night?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
People cheering, clapping. It was fun. Was it just as much fun to make this movie for you?
Sure, in some ways.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was total wish fulfillment. The kid in me that always wanted to be a superhero and the actor in me that's always wanted to play one, all of that happened for me. So making the movie, I was constantly pinching myself. But, you know, the super suits are not the most comfortable things in the world. Going to the bathroom was a challenge, to say the least. And I was, you know, in the gym 6 days a week when and that was on shooting days and eating tons and tons of chicken and broccoli, like just ad nauseum and all that. And also, we shot in Toronto in the middle of winter, and as you saw in the movie, it's 75% of the movie's exterior nights. So that was not the warmest of experiences. And the suit doesn't keep you warm, by the way. But all that said, like, I'll take all of that times 10 if it means that's what it takes to be this role and make this movie and bring it to the people. Because, as you said, it's a lot of fun.
It is a fun movie to watch. It's an experience. It's a fun experience. How do you prepare yourself to get into the mindset of a 14-year-old? How did you do?
I just woke up.
Okay, I was going to say, you're always energetic.
Like, what are we doing today, guys? Game Boy? Game Boy. Who plays Game Boy anymore? That's how, no. No, look, man, I've always had this, I don't know what this is, Peter Pan syndrome, youthfulness, optimism, Toys R Us kid, you know, like I don't want to grow up kind of deal, you know, and maybe that's kept me away from other really like serious roles that people, maybe we would hire that guy. No, he's too much of a child. But it worked out in this case. It was, I think, probably exactly what maybe got me the job. I think David and Peter and everybody at New Line were like, who's that guy who can most believably be 14? Go grab that guy. I think he can do a good job.
You've already kind of told me the costume likes and dislikes. Is there any, besides going to the bathroom? A lot of superheroes say that about their costumes.
Well, that's because we're all in the same boat, man. It's just not easy.
But were there any others about? I mean, because it looks awesome.
Thanks.
Just everything. But how does it feel to wear?
Kind of claustrophobic. I mean, genuinely. Like the first time I put it on, it was it was both like the most amazing thing I was looking at, and also it felt really tight. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to be. Like, you got to really find like some zen in this, because I was like, Zach, you're gonna wear this for like the next 5 months at least and become one with the suit. And I became one with the suit.
I love it.
And we moved together and we breathed together. But eventually it kind of just felt like another skin, because
right.
you know you become accustomed to it.
One of our anchors back home in Houston at Fox 26, Isaiah Carey, has been begging me for this movie, begging me for this interview. So Isaiah, this is for you. Give me the line, the name of the movie. Give me that line.
Shazam.
That was for you, Isaiah. Mark, it's great to see you again.
And you.
Is it fun playing the villain? I know it's not the first time you've kind of played the bad guy.
Yeah.
But I think you kind of get a rush out of it. You really embrace this role.
I've always kind of felt the villains that get the best costumes, they get the best lines, you know, they get the storylines that are memorable. I know it sounds bad to say it, but if you're memorable in a movie, you're in the movie. And I get a kick out of the bad guy.
How physical was this character to play? There's the fight scenes, the flying. Was there a lot of that you had to get ready for? Or?
Yeah, there really was. I mean, I played Sinestro, obviously, in Green Lantern, and there were some fight scenes in that, but they were all pretty much straightforward on-the-ground fight scenes. There's a lot of flying in this one. So you have to be pretty fit to be able to kind of handle that all day, every day, over a period of weeks.
What makes this a different type of superhero movie?
I think it has heart. There's a really strong family theme at the center of it. It's pretty emotional. There were sequences that I wasn't quite expecting to be that moved in this kind of a movie. And they're all looking for where they belong, aren't they? Whether it's young Sivana, whose supposed family is meant to be the perfect one, but isn't, or young Billy, who is looking for his mother. Is she, the right thing for him? Is the foster family the right thing for him? So the fact that at its core, it's got this family theme, this emotional core, I thought was pretty interesting.
Are you a comics fan?
I am, yeah, now. But as a kid, we didn't really grow up in the UK, and I live and am based in London. We didn't really grow up with the American superheroes. I remember getting into those when I was much older, like a teenager. But since, I think, getting involved with the DC universe with Sinestro, I kind of know a little bit about it now.
Tell me your likes and dislikes with your costume, and then I've got a follow-up. that you may or may not be able to answer.
Okay.
But we'll talk about the costume.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of any dislikes. What I loved was that amazing leather coat. I mean, the idea was that, Shazam has his cloak and Sivana has his coat. So when they're flying and up there and the wind's blowing like that, it looks pretty dramatic.
Okay, so what can you tell me about...
About my eye?
Yes. No spoilers.
Yeah, well, people who know the comic will know that Sivana has immense power above and beyond who he is as an individual. And largely it comes from what's in that eye.
How did you film, though, with that? How did you do that?
I had a lens that I had to put in before and after every take. So somebody would be there ready and they'd stick it in my eye and then they'd take it out afterwards and, it gave the guy something to play with later in CGI.
That's what I really, really wanted to ask. All right, final question for today, sir. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
More than flight and invisibility, which is the question that's asked in the film. More than that?
More than that.
Superpower. Well, what would yours be?
I would like to teleportation because we fly a lot, we travel a lot. And getting the kid that sits behind you that kicks your seat for 4 hours is awful. Yeah. Going through security at the airport, I'm pre-checking all that, but it's just the whole hassle. Flight's delayed, flight canceled. I'd like to just be able to go London and you're there.
What about high-speed movement then? Flash style, that you can literally get somewhere in seconds. You could just swim across the Atlantic in about 2 minutes.
As long as I add a helmet, not a problem. Great to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Actually, we met at IT.
I vaguely remember you, yes.
When I just walked in, I was like, wait a minute, I've met him before.
I know.
Good to see you again, man.
Yeah, good to see you too. Pleasant surprise.
Yeah. Tell me about the day that you found out you were in Shazam. We'll start with you.
Let's see, I just finished the test and I was heading to the airport. And my managers and my agent called my parents, and of course I was in the restroom, came out of the restroom. Everyone was screaming, jumping around, it was crazy. And then I was like, guys, what happened? They're like, oh, you booked the role. And then I start jumping around and I'm running through security and it was a mess. But yeah, that's the story.
Same story. Why? A lot of actors and actresses had told me the bathroom is popular when people land
Why?
roles. It happens a lot.
That's the second time.
Dude, that's like a few other actors and actresses said, yeah, I landed, I was in the restroom, I came out, and I was like, okay. It's like award shows, they go potty a lot. I don't know. Yeah. Tell me about the day that you found out you were cast.
So it wasn't like a weird recognition thing, like, oh, you got the part. It was kind of slow. So I wrapped, or maybe it was my lunch break. I was working on a show called Me, Myself, and I at the time on the Warner Brothers lot, and they called me in. I literally walked like 2 minutes. We were on the same lot, and I walked to the Warner Brothers office, and I was like, "Hey guys, good to see you," because some of the producers were the same from IT. And I was like, "Hey guys, good to see you." And they're like, "We're interested in a role for you for Shazam." And so we're gonna have you do like screen tests and readings with all the other people. So basically, they had me read with a bunch of different Shazams and Billies. So I kind of was already locked in at that point. But I was already like, oh my God, even to audition and walk to them and even hear that they want me to be in a DC movie was like mind-boggling. Like, I don't even know how to describe it.
What surprised you both the most about playing these characters? I mean, it's a superhero movie.
Yeah.
So like, what surprised you the most about playing these characters?
That I resonated with him so well. I mean, so legitimately that I related to him and that we both have the same way of thinking and we're both pretty confident and have a pretty good amount of charisma, and how we use how our self-defense mechanism to bullies is like our humor, our sense of humor. So that's something How about you?
I think for me, it would be, I would say the middle of the movie, once he realizes he has superpowers, then he's like a happy kid, he's excited to be a superhero. And I think that's me, he's thoughtful and, besides having superpowers, because I don't have that, but I feel like that's where that's what really resonates with me. I feel like, oh, this is kind of more like me. Yeah.
Funny you should mention that, because that's going to be my last question for you both today. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Jack.
Good question.
Okay, we'll start over here.
Jack.
He's thinking.
Verbally triggered body manipulation properties.
Electricity manipulation. Beat that. What you got?
Well, I did.
I don't even know what that is.
Verbally triggered body manipulation properties?
Electricity.
Piece it together, my friend. It's basically basically when he says Shazam, that's what that is called. Like, he's changing his body and turning into Shazam. So basically that covers all the fields. Like if I were to just say Shazam, I have all those powers immediately. So I kind of just cheated your question.
You know what was great about this interview is that you learned something today.
You're
He doesn't
welcome,
know.
everybody.
Educational. We can put it in.
Educational. Jack and the
Educational
Grazer
program.
teacher.
Congratulations.
On the Discovery Channel.
Great. Well, okay. I do watch that. Great job, guys. Fantastic
you.
Thank you so
movie.
much.